second. In our mid-year reviews, we talked about making our goals, and I want to make certain that we're using our trackers and not just our GPS, but also our net worth trackers as well. So let me share my screen here.
Damn, Wes, don't nobody want.
Go ahead, say it again.
I was just saying good morning, Wes.
Oh, good morning. Okay, what can you guys see up on your screen right now?
You can see the slides.
You can see the slides? Okay, I just want to make certain. It's showing up differently on my screen, so that's why I wanted to check. Okay, one of the things we want to talk about is some of the tools we have with Place. But before we get started with that, I want to ask for any shout outs anybody has for team members or people in our organizations where we saw our values or any wins that you've had this week. So I want to get 3 of those. Who's first? We didn't have any wins this week at all, or any shout outs for team members. I know we've had a bunch.
I'll go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, one of my listings has been sitting a little bit longer than I guess we anticipated. We listed it right as the market kind of shifted. So I've just been talking with my clients, and we have been lowering the prices. So just kind of grit with my clients and just like me trying to work through this because I've never experienced it either. So my clients are still feeling good about it, and I've just been keeping them have a positive mindset. So I guess grit on that.
That's a great point. We're having to do those price reduction scripts right now and also keep buyers and sellers still motivated to achieve their goals. That's a good one. Let's do 2 more. Who else?
I'll go. Melanie's still in her first couple months with us, and she's had 3 closings in about 5 days. So we're pretty proud of her.
Wow. Fantastic. Great job on that one. That's a huge win. Okay. And also a value for results. All right. Last one. One more shout out to somebody that's maybe done something for the team, somebody else, a value or a win that we've had. Quiet group today.
All right, I'll go. Preston Roberts with the Steve Gilbert team. I want to shout out Zach Davis, one of our team members. He's always willing to help out whenever he can, and even if he has like business he needs to do, he's always he's always willing to help out a fellow team member.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. And thanks to Zach too on that. Thanks,
Sure.
Preston.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I want to just cover real quickly before we get into the presentation too is why we started these Tennessee Power Ups. And there were 3 reasons that we talked about. One was to bring tools and training to everyone so that you guys can be successful, because Place is a partnership and we want to make certain that we're providing that to you every day in the ways that we provide you tools, systems, and surround you with the right people. The next one is growing leaders. As you guys grow in your business, you guys are going to become leaders in not just what you're doing, but you're going to develop your own team within a team, or even your own team, depending on how far you want to take it. And one of the things we've done with this format, it's a smaller format than the whole Place organization, is by participating here, you're going to participate here like you do out there. And that's with helping others in your team as far as develop themselves, and also developing those leadership qualities so that you can have your own team. And then the last thing is, this kind of hit me more than anything else. Ben's biggest concern about Place is making certain that we have a sense of community and we don't become just a big organization. And what he means by that is by personal relationships. And we want to make certain that we're forming those relationships across the state, be it Clarksville, Knoxville, Dayton, Chattanooga, Nashville, that, you know, we know each other. And not only do we help with referrals and stuff, but we also help each other as far as whatever that means. If it's personal, with our business goals, with our personal goals, whatever that is. But that's the biggest thing. And we want to make certain by this format, it's something where we can start those introductions so we can start those relationships going across the state here. So, but that's one of Ben's biggest concerns about Place, is making certain we always keep it where it's close. And I think everybody that's attended partners meetings, when we've met partners across the country, they are so like-minded with us. It is just unbelievable. It's not something where we go and, well, I won't talk to them anymore. It's something, man, I want to go hang out with that person. So that's been the biggest thing I've just really loved about Place. So with that, let's go into our slides here. One is we're going to talk about is course corrections to your goals. We all know that when NASA sent the spaceship to the moon, they did over 1,000 course corrections to make it to the moon. And you can understand why, because that's a long ways to go. And we get off just a little bit, we can end up someplace where we don't want to be instead of at the moon. So they have to track where they are and then keep that in mind so that they can make those course corrections so that they can get where they want to be. Ours is the same way. Our business, our personal goals are going to be the same thing. And we have 2 great tools to do that. One is a GPS. And we all did this at the first part of the year, where we came up with our 135, or when you just started with the business, you started with that 1352. That was the first item on your career opportunities guide that we talked about. What's the next steps? And you start with the end in mind. And we put in business and personal goals. We break down the goals to manageable tasks. And this allows self-correcting to make up any shortfalls that we have. Now, one of the things you guys remember when you brought up your 135 is you had all the tabs down at the bottom. And if you go down to the one where it says business and life plans, you got to list out all your business goals as well as your personal goals over here. And they could be, if you have an Airbnb property, if you want to buy an investment property, it could be going on vacation or setting up to go see family that you haven't seen for a while. Because you don't want to come up after 2 years and say, man, I haven't seen such and such, and I think that's just a real loss for me. Those are personal type goals, and we want to keep those in mind too. But if you don't write it down, it doesn't exist. And then the other part too, as far as on your business goals, it's not just listings and buyers, but what's the professional development? How many books are we going to read? What books are we going to read? Also, getting designations that you want to help develop your business, or taking different classes if it's a luxury designation that you want to get. so you can get more into a higher price point or share that with your clients. The other one then is we start tracking our goals. And this we review each week. And on this, we've got our business, our financial, and our personal type goals for our experiential living. But then we put those down as far as what those are, and we start tracking it. And you can see we've got a little place, and sometimes it's just a yes or no thing, but going through and tracking those so you can change that. Now, when you go down to the weekly part of it, you don't fill out that next week until that first week is 100% completed. Because if you said that you were going to make 25 calls and you only made 20, then that next week you probably need to make 30 contacts or whatever that is, or interviews. So those are the parts that we want to make certain that we review these tools on a weekly basis. Okay. Now, if you find yourself falling short of that on a consistent basis, one of the things in our GPS is if you go all the way to the right, it's plan the day the night before. Ben has done numerous videos on this. He also has a Win Make Give podcast that I would really recommend. It's about 30 minutes long, but it's absolutely great. And it talks about how to win the day. Chad Himes, Bob Stewart, and also Ben discuss this in detail, why it's so important, how it helps them out. And it's just a 4-step process, and it's visualized. What do I need to accomplish tomorrow? What would winning look like tomorrow? What needs to be completed tomorrow that would make a difference? What this does, it gets you ultra focused and you take care of those big rocks. And you guys have all heard about that story with the college professor that has a bunch of rocks. He's got a bunch of pebbles. He's got a bunch of sand, and he's got a bunch of water, and they try to fit it into the jar. And when they put the water in first and then they put the sand in, the water gushes out. Okay. And they still don't have the rocks in. But what they do is they start with the big rocks. They put that in first and they said, okay, is this jar full? And everybody says, yeah. Well, then they put the pebbles in and they shake it up and they get more stuff in there so they get more accomplished. Is this jar full? Oh yeah, it's really full now. And then they take the sand and they pour the sand in and they juggle it around and move it, so they get the sand in then. And then they pour the water in. So you can get everything in, but the first thing you have to do is get the big rocks done. So that's why you visualize what needs to be done first. The next thing is review your calendar for tomorrow. Does your calendar actually going to help you accomplish those goals, or do you have the space or the time that you've allocated to accomplish those goals? If you don't, then you need to cancel, reschedule, or reduce everything that's not important. If it's going someplace that's not going to pay you dividends, and don't do that, but Ben actually will go through and cancel about half the stuff on his calendar to make certain he's got time to take care of things that come up. What if you get a listing appointment for a $900,000 listing today, but it's not on your calendar, but they want you there today? Are you going to make time for that? Well, of course we are. We're going to rush out there and take care of that, but what suffers from that? But if we have that time where we've got some time that's not scheduled, where we can take care of those things, that makes a huge difference for us. Then only keep on the calendar that's going to help, that's going to make a difference. Okay. Now, the third step is you should brain dump your list of priorities and then rank them in the order that they should be done. Well, what's the most important? And then cross out or delete everything else that you can't accomplish tomorrow. And some of the things that you want to do is also plan your rituals. These things you're going to do automatically. One is going to be exercise. The next one is going to be hydrate. The other is going to be activate your mind. It's maybe listening to podcasts if you don't have time to read a book. We all take time driving somewhere. So it's great for audiobooks, or if we got books on tape or something, we can actually listen to those in the car as we drive. And those will help. And that's part of putting more stuff in that jar so we get to accomplish the things that we need to do. But reviewing your daily plan to make your goals is going to be huge. The last part is the accountability. Everybody you got in your office wants to see you succeed. That's the great thing about our teams, is we are not committed to just making ourselves be successful. We actually have a stake to see everybody in our teams be successful. So a quick week review as far as just running through your numbers when you have that team meeting, when you get around, hey, guys, I said I was gonna make 4 appointments last week and I got 3. So I'm down 1. Nobody wants to say that they failed or they didn't meet their goals, but you learned that, man, I need to do something differently to make those goals. And just by that quick review with the team, it's something that we kind of disappoint the team when we don't make our goals. And we are really good at being good about disappointing ourselves because it's just us. But if we make a promise to someone else, doesn't it always seem that we just break our necks to make certain that we follow through on that? Even if it's staying late, if I said, well, I'm going to help them move a couch, then, I really don't have time, but I'm going to go do that instead of doing the thing that I wanted to do. Because we just care about other people. So that quick review with the team will really make a huge difference. So I want you guys to really take a look as far as just reviewing that results with an accountability partner. Okay. Now, one of the things that's going to help as far as tracking your calls is we got introduced on Monday, the partners did. Brivity is going to be on there for your business tracking. You're going to be able to see your sales, your trending towards your goals. This is going to be awesome. And we may get Kevin on here to actually go over this, and also Brivity Marker. I'll be talking to him today. But I mean, some of the stuff Brivity has for our business tracking tools is going to be second to none. Everybody has to use a separate sheet, it seems like, in our industry to track these. And we are going to be one where it's going to be everything in Brivity, so you can see how you're coming along there. And then with Brivity right now, we can already do our dials, our contacts, and our appointments. It is so important that we use these tracking tools in Brivity, and it's going to help you manage your business. Again, you guys are all business owners. We're not just salespeople, but we are actually business owners. But that production tracking is coming to Brivity. The next thing I want to talk about also is an event that's happening today we're going to tie it with, and that's our net worth tracker. And this is something that with our vision that we have is win in business, make money, give to others, and live experientially and do good. And our net worth tracker is just like our GPS. It helps us do that. For this, you want to go to the Win, Make, Give website, go to resources, and then access the net worth tracker. Okay. Now, when you get here, it's going to look like this. And you can see right down here in the middle, it says net worth calculator. You can click on that and actually upload or have access to that Google sheet. And then you can start tracking your net worth. And it should start to go up because it's going to have things in here like what's your house worth, any automobiles that you have, how much cash on hand, stocks you have. If you have any collectibles, such as gold, Beanie Babies that are still worth a lot of money, anything like that will be in that net worth tracker that you want to put down. Okay. Now, one of the other things is tracking your goals is with that Win, Make, Give. Ben has talked to Tom Wheelwright, and he is actually the coach of, what's the guy's name that did Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Richard Kiyosaki or something like that.
Robert Kiyosaki.
That's it. He is actually Robert Kiyosaki's coach. Tom Wheelwright is on financial taxes and stuff. And he's also Ben's coach on taxes. Well, Ben is hosting a 1-hour session with him today on Tom's new book called The Win-Win Wealth Strategy. All right. And it's a great book. I actually got these purchased for the team so that they can actually go through that if they need to. But I've got the link here where you can go into it, but you can go to Win-Win Strategies, and it's also on Facebook. Just goes to Ben's page and you can actually see the link for it. But today at 11:30 Pacific time, which will be 1:30 our time, it's a free wealth building webinar. Okay. It's going to talk about 7 investments the government will pay you to make. Okay. And Tom Wheelwright is absolutely awesome. So you're going to want to be on this video. Now, one of the other things is if you attend the video and not just watch the recording later, is there are prizes for live attendees. And Ben is going to be kicking off a new wealth series shortly after this. So it's a great way to kind of learn a little bit about that too. And last time Ben did a wealth series, one of my team actually got one of those prizes for $1,000 for his son for a college fund. So again, Ben doesn't give out small prizes. He gives out some big ones. So be on the call if at all you can. Okay. But one of the things with tracking your goals is having the tools to win. Okay. Because we're going to make several different course corrections. And I know right now we are totally focused on, with this recession starting to come into full bloom and price reductions, is staying with the activities. You guys are going to see a lot of agents start hanging it up, especially at the end of the year when they have to renew their E&O insurance. They have to pay all these fees. You'll see a lot of people retiring or just get out of the business 100% because they're paying fees and they're not getting that easy commission checks. So again, this is going to be really big for everyone to kind of make certain that we stay on target. And a lot of it's going to be our self accountability and then also staying with our GPS to be successful. So I know that was kind of a quick video. I'd throw that together quickly. I did want to let you guys know what tools you have available for tracking your success. And that's one of the great things about our place partnerships is everything we have to offer. A lot of times it's really lost as far as how many great tools we have out there. And in the Tennessee Power Up, you can go to YouTube, pull up past recordings, so you can also see those. So questions, comments about anything we touched on? Because I know I hit a lot in a short amount of time.
I would say it's just a great reminder to, I have no idea how my video is looking right now. Good morning. Just a reminder of the basics in terms of the tracking and having people, I mean, the power of community to just take a real look at it rather than the perceived idea of how we're all doing. So I think it seems simple, but it's tough to do. So appreciate that reminder.
Yep. Who else? Okay, one of the things I've got is, one of the things I want to do is promote the people that participate. We had Courtney participate today, Preston, and who was the other person that shared today? Oh, Robbie did. Okay. I've got 3 books that I'm going to be sending to y'all. I'm going to send you that new book, Preston. I'll send it up to Stephen Gilbert's office there where you can get it. So don't let him just keep it. Okay.
I'm
Thank you.
keeping it,
Steven
Chris.
is.
I'm keeping it.
He'll give it to you after he puts the notes in it and stuff. Okay. But I'm going to send that out to you. Robbie, I don't know if you've already gotten the book, but I'll send you one also. And I'll give Courtney hers today.
I don't, and I'm very excited.
Okay. I'll send those to you then. We'll get those out in the mail. It probably won't be today because I'm tied up with appointments, but it will be tomorrow. So look for those coming to you. All right. But again, you never know when you participate as far as how you'll be rewarded. So always think about that. It's just like when you make that phone call to a FSBO and they say, yeah, I need to list my house. Come on over. But you don't know until you try it. So great job, Preston. I appreciate you participating. Courtney, as always, I appreciate you too. All right. Anybody else before we sign off here today? All right. I will tell Jolene that everybody sends their good wishes to her and hope for a speedy recovery on it. I know she's going to quarantine for a couple weeks, but she will be on our call, not next Thursday, but the following Thursday, talking about consistencies with Rivety to help us with our business. All right. All right, guys. See y'all later.
Thank you, Wes.
See ya.